Hello and welcome to episode 24 of the MotoGP Career mode. Today we are off to Sachsenring first and then Assen. So first up, qualifying in Sachsenring. So as we come across the line, 12 minutes left in the session. Feeling quite good here in Sachsenring. I feel like I'm able to ride the bike the way I want. I feel quite good under braking. And I do feel strong in some areas of the track. Not perfect, but better than most tracks I've been to this season. So hopefully, as we go under in Sector 1, hopefully we can have a good race. Most tracks this year I've been to, I felt like the bike has been doing the work and I'm kind of hanging on, whereas I feel actually like I'm riding the bike at the moment, which is quite good. Coming through this long turn 7 here, just drifting it out. So far, 0.3, almost 0.4 under. Brilliant lap so far for me. This qualifying lap really feels like one of the best laps I've done on this bike so far. Going from white line to white line. Now we come up to the famous waterfall, flick it over into 5th gear, drop down at 130 miles an hour, and we're still 0.3 under. Coming down into Saxon curve, P12. Now come up to the final corner. Can we keep it in pole position? We're on course for pole up to the line. 1:23.0 I set in qualifying. One of my best laps I've done in this whole career mode series. It really felt great lap. And in the race we're going for medium. So the plan is good start and kind of just hold them up, because I feel like with their hards they're going to be a bit stronger than me. So 5 red lights, away we go. Get a good start, just move to the right slightly just to cover off the AI. You can see they're going quite aggressive to the inside. So my plan is get to the front. I've underfueled the bike so I have a bit more, less weight, less tyre wear. I did a couple laps on the hards in practice and I had no pace, so it had to be a medium for the race. So Sam Lowe's and DG Antonio right behind me. There's been a crash in Omega corner. Can't see what it was though. I'm leading, so the plan is just to get the head down, get to a rhythm and see can we stay out in front. This is a very hard track to pass, so I'll have to use that to my advantage, make this Moto 2 Calyx very wide. Already approaching the end of lap 1. 10 laps here. It is very short track. We plunge down waterfall. One of the coolest pieces of track in the world. And so far we have a small gap to Sam Lowe's, nothing major, but we've managed to survive the opening lap. So it's all about building the rhythm and seeing how slow I can go and keeping first position. So Remy Gardner has worked his way up to second. I've just noticed he is in second. All of a sudden he was back in fourth he comes up right up onto me. So he seems very quick in that change of direction. As we are right on the back of him now here, and there seems to be a big gaggle of riders behind him. Looks like I was holding up the whole pack, riding slightly slow, just riding low 24s, whereas Marcus Ramirez is in the 23s, mid 23s at that. I do another mid 24, but you can see there's already a bit of a gap from Gardner up, so he's trying to pass and get away at the front. So I'm going to try and respond, and hopefully I can stick with him. It's a KTM IO 1-3 at the moment. Raul Fernandez, the rookie, right on the back of me, so I'm in a sandwich at the moment. The best thing I can do here now is not make any mistakes and just follow Remy Gardner through, because he's the one that has gone to the lead early. I have a feeling he's on hard tyres, so that he's going to be quite good late in the race. So I'm going to have to do my best to stay on the back wheel in case he makes mistakes. So once again, this section here turn 10 into the waterfall, he just has serious amount of pace. He takes a lot more corner speed out of 10, whereas I go further to the left, probably more of a GP line, whereas I have he's a more of a Moto2 line, whereas I have a GP line where I open up the corner probably a bit too much. So I'm trying to rectify that in the race. I look to be losing 2/10 from there, and I look to pull him in every other part of the track. So we've managed to drop our pace and set a fastest lap of the race here on lap 10. Now we are still following. Raul Fernandez is thereabouts, but he's slightly after dropping back, almost just over half a second behind. We seem to be pulling in Remy Gardner, but we're just losing him in turn 10 and turn 11 every lap, to the point where we can't get anything done. So it's all about now, is there going to be a way through? Will we be able to get close enough and not lose time through turn 10, 11 and maybe pass him into Saxon Curve or into turn 1? I feel like if I could get ahead of him, I could probably hold him off, but I think it's going to be very, very difficult to get ahead of Remy Gardner today. Let's get our second track limits warning. We have a few in hand if we need to use them to tactically deploy them. Fly down waterfall again. He just pulls out so much time. If I was right on the back of him coming into it, I might be able to just kind of shadow his line and hold on to him, but whatever I'm doing anyway is wrong. He seems to get some great drive there, but for the rest of the track you can see I pull him back in. We'll come out of the final corner up to the line now to start lap 9. 23.4 for me. So Raul Fernandez has robbed the fastest lap of the race at 23.8, and he's back on the back of me now. He's only 5 tenths off. So it's important that I don't make mistakes in my pursuit of Remy Gardner. From the top here, I think it's turn 6. So we're going to turn 5 here. From here to the waterfall, I'm much quicker than Remy. I pull him in. He starts, you'll see in a second, the rear end starts sliding just about here. Maybe he's on a hard tire that's gone off, or mediums, and he's overused them to get to the lead. But I have much steadier pace, but I can't make use of it. So up here now, he seems to go much wider than me, as I come in tight for the GP line to open up the waterfall. You see he just manages to go all the way out, and he doesn't lose time on turn 11, which I would. Even taking my line, I couldn't even keep it on track trying to keep with him, but I've managed to stay much closer this lap using a cheeky track limits warning to stay with him. So now we're coming up to the final corner of the penultimate lap. 1 lap to go after this, and we are close as we've been since he's passed me. Now, can we get him maybe into turn 1? I don't reckon we're close enough. I set the fastest lap of the race that lap around, 23.1. We're gaining into turn 1. Going to have a look. He's just too far ahead. It's a downhill right corner, bit off camber. It would be a suicide move to pass him there. We'd take them both down. And as I'm in a very strong championship position, a P2 would be a great result here, even if I don't get the win. So now this is where I need to start to capitalise and start making moves back towards as we come around and come back to the track. No, he takes a much narrower line. I open up the track more. So down here now, through this very tricky turn 8, I'm going to have to be on the money all the way to the finish line if I'm going to have any chance. Maybe into Saxon Curve, maybe into the last corner. I've mirrored his line much better this time, and I've stayed with him, but even still he just pulls out probably half a tenth, and at the moment the gap is quarter of a second, and it's not going to be enough. I don't think. I get much better drive through Saxon Curve. I'm right on the back of him, but it's a very tricky move to pass in here. Have a look, but he parks on the apex. Brilliant ride from Remy Gardner. Nothing I could do to that. Wheelie across the line. P2. Raul Fernandez running off the podium, and I have a 3-point lead from Remy Gardner in the championship. So here we are for my qualifying lap in Assen. Another weekend where I felt quite strong. I've done a bit of the esports event here, the Rising Star, so I'm quite up to temperature with this track. Obviously on a Ducati and that, but this Moto2 bike feels quite good around here. So again, another weekend where I feel on one with the bike. As I say that, I run it massively wide into turn 3. Currently Bezzecchi has provisional pole from Raul Fernandez and Joe Roberts. Can we get pole position? We're after racking up the pole positions this year. We've not managed to turn many of them into race wins, but we are on a very nice streak at the moment of podiums. I think we have 4 back-to-back podiums, I think, from Jerez all the way here. So can we get our 5th in a row here in Assen? My money would be yes. I reckon I can get a podium here, but we'll see. You don't get any points for qualifying. We have to do it in, I think, a 9 or 8 lap race on Sunday. So see what we can do. We have 2 red sectors for the moment. We're coming up to the 3rd split. Just come through this fast right-hander here. Is the end of sector 3. And we are 0.700, so on a fabulous lap here into the last sector, which I feel quite strong in. Hard into the last chicane, Gartemic chicane. Run slightly deep, fly out, up to line. Can we get pole? A 1:38.6 puts me on pole, so we'll go for medium again. Strategy is the exact same. Get out in front and slow them down, because I do feel with the colder temperatures and the hard tyres, again, tried the hard, couldn't have any feel with it, so I'm going to have to try and make my tyres last and hopefully kind of block them up a bit. We'll see how we go. So Sam Lowe's from Marshall Schrotter in 3rd at the moment. We've managed to lead the opening sector. We didn't get dived into turn 1, which is always a positive. Now as we fly up the back straight, we have 0.3 already over Sam Lowe's, so the gap is there. So if we can just be very defensive on these opening laps, but also maybe have I think I lost the race to Remy Gardner in Saxon because my pace was just too slow at the start and there was too much of a group, so that when I did get past, as I run way wide out of that corner there, as I was saying, when I did get past, there was too many riders behind that I had to kind of compromise my run. I couldn't really get onto the back of Remy straight away. I had to focus on defending, and that cost me a couple of laps at getting on the back of Remy Gardner. So it's crucial that I have a decent pace but also not shred the tyres. So it's going to be a balancing act now for the next 5 laps, and we'll see where we are towards the end of the race. So plan isn't really going to plan. Once again, I'm going a bit too slow probably, and I got that all wrong in turn 1, and DG Antonio has gone past. Joe Roberts is looking closely behind, so we could be having a carbon copy of Saxon at the moment. I've led the opening few laps, and now it looks like I got it wrong into the tight left hairpin. But Fabio Di Gianantonio is after breaking away already. So looks like Remy Gardner is doing this same thing. So Fabio is just out of my reach. Raul Fernandez once again is the rider putting pressure from behind. I don't know where Sam Lowe's is or Remy Gardner. They were in the top 7 both at one point, and I haven't seen where they went. I don't know if they crashed. I've been really focusing on trying to pull in DG Antonio for the last few laps, so I haven't really noticed if they've crashed or not. But they're not in the top 8, which is very good for me if I can get the win here or at least get a podium. Like I said, I'm going for my 5th consecutive podium here at Assen. So it will be a great result if we can manage to bring it home, maybe even sneak a win. We've managed to be quite consistent this year. We're finished strong, but we haven't really managed to win many races. We struggled at the opening part of the season in Moto 3, but then once we got going, wins came fast and regular. But unfortunately in Moto 2 we're best of the rest most times. We're kind of just about on the podium pace. But we still have a couple of laps here yet to maybe win this one. Over second out to Fabio Di Gianantonio. He's breaking away and Raul Fernandez is right there. I can see him almost trying to pass me. I can see it in the gap. Ooh, onto the inside curb there and spinning up the rear. So I think the race win is going to be out of the question. It's more, can we hold off Raul Fernandez? Once again, we only have one track limit, so we're slightly improved on earlier rounds of the track limits. Not getting as many and being able to kind of keep them late in the race and use them more of a tactical point. Fabio Di Gianantonio running a fabulous race out front. He is after passing me. Had a couple of laps where he was just in front of me and then he just clicked away, knocking off the laps and just pulling out a gap. I had no response really. The pace he's at, I can't run, not consistently anyway. So it's going to Ramchuk into the Gortima chicane for the 6th time, backing it in, bringing it down to the apex. Quite fun, this track on a Moto 2 bike, but very difficult to do consistent lap times every lap. So it has been of no avail. We've managed to kind of hold off Raul Fernandez. We've half a second over him. We've took half a second out of DG, but then he took 2/10 back on the opening sector this lap. We've run wide here in turn 8. We're not going to be able to get the win. We've actually dropped back into the claws of Raul Fernandez after I said it was a bit of a done deal. So need to just keep it clean up to the line. Again, as I run off track, I'm after getting 2 track limits warnings on this. And yeah, so will Fernandez have a go into the Gortima chicane? I reckon if he's close enough, he'll go for it. I feel I'm very strong on entry. I'm much better than the AI on braking, I feel, but they seem very quick on exit. So I'll have to maybe just kind of park it middle of the chicane and try and blast out. But here we come into the chicane. He's 3/10 back. He's not going to be close enough. Out of the last chicane. Bo Schneider's man to doom actually into the last chicane. Bo Schneider gets it. And we stretch our championship lead to 20 points. So 2 pole positions followed up by 40 points out of a possible 50. A pretty successful set of races for me. Managed to keep the podium streak going with 20 points over Fernandez. No sign of Remy Gardner or Sam Lowe's in the top 3 of the championship. So we're doing well. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.